13 is Shimko in row number 5. Row 6, the 10 of Kaufman, the 3 of Jeff Dunphy, the 3rd, and the 37 of Christian Bailey. 25 laps, Summit Racing Economy Modified feature brought to you by RacingJunk.com. Green flag back in the air. Lots of contact between Justin Courtney and Jason Gruhl. Justin Courtney just went up the racetrack and right into Jason Gruhl on the front straightaway. And Justin Courtney, your race leader. Justin Courtney still out front, holding off the 2 of Lee McCurry. Here comes Kevin McClintock. McClintock to the outside of the 00 of Todd Ripley, trying to move up into that 4th spot. McClintock on the outside, working his way around Todd Ripley. Lucas Ripley, the next in line. McClintock making that outside lane work. He's going to try and get to the outside of Lucas. Not able to get there. Still side by side with the 00 of Todd Ripley as the 19 of Courtney continues to lead. McClintock starting to move forward just a little bit as he's clear of the 00 of Todd Ripley, now working on the 0 of Lucas Ripley. Here comes McClintock. Now to the outside of Lee McCurry. Kevin McClintock making the outside lane work. He says, you know what, everybody else wants to stay single file. I'm going to the outside and I'm going to the front in this Bill Bittaker paint scheme number 38 machine. Laps in, coming to halfway. The 38 of McClintock to the outside of McCurry now, all the way alongside, now moving up to Justin Courtney. Kevin McClintock on the move on the high side. Kevin McClintock hustling in the outside lane, trying to get alongside the 19 of Courtney. Big Mac McMillan spins to the infield. So 14 laps in, 14 in, a little bit of jumble with the 2 of McCurry and the 38 of McClintock jumping to the outside lane. Green flag in the air. And caution in the air. Courtney, the 2 of Lee McCurry, the 0 of Ripley, the 38 of McClintock, your front 4 off of turn number 4. Green flag in the air. McCurry closed the door on Courtney off of turn number 4. Down into turn number 1, I should say. And he takes over the race lead. Lee McCurry trying to hold off Kevin McClintock, and Justin Courtney trying to hold off Todd Ripley and Lucas Ripley. Trying to play both sides of the street. Lucas Ripley up the racetrack. Doug McMillan gets through. Now here comes Jeff Dunphy, the third. He's trying to get through as Lucas Ripley starts to backslide. The 55 of Brandon Bailey trying to work his way up from the back of the pack. Kevin McClintock may have used up those tires getting around everybody on the outside earlier. And now caution on the speedway in turn number 4. See what happens with Lee McCurry in the 2 and the 38 of McClintock. 18 in, getting ready to come to green. Green flag is in the air. Caution on the speedway for the 2 of McCurry. Jump in the restart. Both drivers being warned on the radio for a good start in turn number 4. It's good that time. Green's in the air. McCurry and McClintock side by side down the back straightaway. Into turn number 3. McCurry on the bottom, McClintock on the top, off of turn number 4. Kevin McClintock by an inch. McCurry and McClintock off of turn number 4. McCurry going to have the race lead with 5 to go. Here comes Todd Ripley in the 00 now into the equation. The front 3 have broken away from the field. McCurry, Ripley, McClintock, the front 3 together with 3 laps to go. Here comes McClintock again into turn number 3. McCurry on the bottom, McClintock on the top. White flag for Lee McCurry. Kevin McClintock still in that outside lane. Off turn number 4, McCurry gonna hang on. McClintock finishes 2nd. Todd Ripley 3rd. Justin Courtney 4th. Doug McMillan rounding out your top 5. Pulling into victory lane in the Marcellus Energy Service McCombs Market M&D Designs, sponsored number 2. McCurry! After a cool swig of Pepsi, man, you and McClintock had a pretty heated battle there up front, man, but you were able to hang on.
Yeah, that wasn't intentional. I hope he knows, he thinks it is, but it wasn't. I just broke him loose, and I chased the car up the track, and he was there. Oh, well.
Hey, it is what it is. It's a racing deal, right?
I think I drove him pretty clean other than that. I mean, I drove him tough, like he'd want to, but I didn't mean for it to break loose and hit him. But that got me the win. I mean, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Who you want to thank on this number 2 tonight?
Oh, I definitely got to thank my wife. Happy birthday. McCombs Market, Riddle Trucking, how you pronounce that? Marcellus Energy, J&S Mowing, I got to thank my wife. Vanessa worked her butt off today. Lucas and Todd Ripley, Mike Enos, Uncle Dave, and George Riddle.
Well, and I was wondering if you was going to play both sides, try to play both sides of the street there. Once you cleared Kevin, I was like, man, if you go up to block Kevin a little bit, Todd's going to be right there to the inside.
Oh, I felt him.
And we got a nice little thing over there for you. My water doctor going to come over and give you your trophy. You got a box from Richmond Gear. I want you to put that Melling hat on for me in Victory Lane because I got to take a picture and send it into the contingency connection.
I need a new hat.
Okay, well, you just got one. Congratulations, man. First win of the year. Got to feel good?
After the last couple weeks, yeah. It's been a rough one.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Your winner, Lee McCurry. Is Brandon France. The 15 is Kyle Finlayson. Row 4, the 24 of Brent Schreffler. And the 36 of Bart Busby. The 69 is Dan Bucky, your fastest qualifier. The 18 is Tim Frederick. The 64 of Trevor Cole. The 86 of Josh Beal. The 17X of Bobby Gaynor. 15-lap compact fast feature of Moore Green. Eugene Kopp Jr. getting a shove down the front straightaway from the 58 of Koger. Koger getting boxed in. The 19 of Oliver going to go to the race lead. Here comes Van Meter in the 27 and the 15 of Finlayson. Lap number 1 going to go to the 19 of Clayton Oliver. Here comes the 36 of Bart Busby. Long-time competitor here at Midvale Speedway. Hasn't been in a car in 19 years up until a couple of weeks ago, and something happened. The 24 Schreffler lost a tire. Tough break for Brent Schreffler as his tire is going to beat him down into turn number 1. Side. Van Meter goes to the outside, and Finlayson goes to the outside. Bart Busby goes to the inside. Eugene Kopp Jr. the inside. Brandon France. Zach Koger to the outside. The 69 of Bucky will go up and pick up a spot on the 58 of Koger. Off turn number 4. Green flag, Oliver and Van Meter. Van Meter way up the racetrack got loose, and here comes the 15 of Finlayson, the 36 of Busby. Here comes Bart Busby to the inside of Finlayson for second. Busby to second in the 36. Now looking to the outside of Clayton Oliver. Bart Busby to the outside of Clayton Oliver. Clayton Oliver hanging on to that race lead. Bart Busby, the veteran, hasn't been in a race car in 19 years until a couple of weeks ago when he ran the Dan Bucky ride. Now the last couple of weeks stepped into this number 36 while Jeffrey Orr stays home and takes care of his wife and new daughter. And Bart Busby giving it a good ride as Clayton Oliver trying to hold that 36 up the racetrack. Good racing up front. Brandon France right there in the third spot as Kyle Finlayson starting to slip back in the 15. Bart Busby to the race lead in turn 3. Is he going to hold on? Oliver gets sideways. Bart Busby, your new race leader. driver here in Midvale Speedway in the late model division, street stock division. Used to drive that number 31 machine. Hasn't been in a race car in 19 years. Bart comes back down, talked to him earlier pit side, just tickled to death to be able to drive a race car and be in a competitive ride again after 19 years off. Bart Busby is your race leader with 3 to go. Good battle between Dan Bucky, Van Meter, and Finlayson. 3 wide in turns 3 and 4. They're going to straighten it out. And now caution is the 3 of Eugene Kopp Jr. Something went awry on that machine on the front straightaway. Bart Busby going to choose the bottom. Clayton Oliver going to choose the bottom. Brandon France going to choose the bottom. Brett Van Meter going to choose the bottom. Kyle Finlayson says, heck, I'll go from 5th to 2nd as Finlayson goes to the outside. In, I'd say, 19 or 20 years. Kyle Finlayson looking for his 2nd feature win on the year. He's on the outside. Clayton Oliver's got a couple. He's looking for another one. Green flag in the air. Bucky's got one as well in the 69. Back underway. Tiptoeing through turns 1 and 2. Bucky way up the racetrack and into the wall in turn number 2. Finlayson looking for his 2nd of the year. Oliver, I believe, has won 2, so he's looking for his 3rd. Koger looking for his 1st career feature win. Off of turn number 4, green flag is in the air. Busby and Finlayson into turn number 1. So the 69 of Bucky pulls pit side. And off of turn number 4, Busby going to be your leader by a half a car length. White flag for Bart Busby. Off turn number 4, the old wily veteran, Bart Busby, your winner. Kyle Finlayson finishes 2nd, Clayton Oliver 3rd, Brandon France 4th, Zach Koger in 5th. Pulling into victory lane. In the Mid-Vid Racing videos, Damsel in Defense by Alicia Allison. Keys Cars, sponsored number 36. He may be 1 brick short, but he had a good car tonight. And he pulls into victory lane for the first time in 19 years. Happier than pigs playing in mud. Here's your winner, Bart Busby. Come over here, buddy. Man, I talked to you earlier when we were over in the pits, and I said, man, wouldn't it be fun for you to come down and talk to me in victory lane after I used to watch you race sitting right up there, watching my grandpa give you checkered flags and stuff back in the day, and now you're back in victory lane.
You're showing my age now.
So you got to tell me, man, you drove this thing right up through the pack. It was driver choose your lane. Once you got out front, you put this thing on the bottom and said, I'm good.
Yeah, the bottom's your friend.
But you made the outside work too to get to the front.
Yes, I did. The car's hooked. That's all I can say. Thank that man right there, Danny Bucky.
Absolutely. And Jeffrey Orr, of course, doing his manly duties and allowing you to come run.
Yep, they had a beautiful little baby girl, and I thank him for having that. I wouldn't be in here if it wasn't for that.
Who else you want to thank on this 36 tonight, man? Keys Cars, Damsel in Defense, Mid-Vid Racing Videos, Bucky Mowing. I did it for you.
There you go. I appreciate that.
Congratulations, man. Welcome back into Victory Lane.
Thank you.
Your winner, Bart Busby. Awesome Victory Lane celebration going on. Bart Busby been doing this for, ain't done it in 20 years. He said he's nervous. I don't buy that for a minute. He's on the phone with Jeffrey Orr. Jeffrey congratulating him on the phone. The Orr family in Victory Lane, Mid-Vid Racing Videos. Pretty cool to see the old timer. Couple old timers tonight. The 84 Rich Schweitzer, the 36 of Bart Busby. Pretty neat to see. One brick short, my foot, Bart. Custom painting, John and Pat Metcalf Sr., Rick's CorvetteCafe.com, Perfection Painting and Decorating, sponsored number 1 of John Metcalf Jr. And the green flag is in the air. The 74 is Bob Passwaters Jr. The 77 is Jeremiah Hartline. The 13 is Kenny Feaster Jr. The 77 of Bear Schwartz. And the 3 of Tom Early. So Bubba Smith on the bottom gets sideways. Colton Ritchie still out there in the high lane. The 11 leads lap number 1. So here comes Larry Smith, the birthday boy in the 44, up to the 3rd spot as he gets around Kyle Grove in the 31 E-Machine. Grove back to 4th. 5th is the 66 of Collins. Colton Ritchie starting to work over the 11 of Bubba Smith now. Bubba Smith up front now, sideways off of turn number 4, really parking in the corners. Here comes Larry Smith to the outside. Larry Smith on the outside to the race lead. Colton Ritchie really working as here comes Larry Smith again. Smith spins right in front of the field, and good move by the guys behind him. choose the inside. Colton Ritchie going to choose the outside. Kyle Grove inside, Gabe Pringle outside. Gary Hoopengarner inside. And the 74 of Pass Waters to back to green. Bubba Smith, Colton Ritchie together. Off of turn number 4. Kyle Grove, Gabe Pringle, row 2. Gary Hoopengarner, Bob Passwaters Jr., row 3. Into turn number 4. Sideways again, the 11 of Smith, but he's going to be a race leader. Here comes Kyle Grove for the second spot. Him and Ritchie get together in turn number 4. Kyle Grove trying to move up into that second spot. Colton Ritchie trying to hang on. Here comes Gabe Pringle for third. Kyle Grove into 31 up to second. Gabe Pringle in the 7th up to third. 10 laps complete. Halfway home. 10 and 10 to go. The 11 of Bubba Smith, your race leader. The 31E of Kyle Grove trying to hang on is now the 3 of Early spins to the infield. Three of Tom Early. Getting ready to go back to green. 8 laps to go, 12 in. Green flag is in the air. Kyle Grove with a good run on the outside lane. Looked like the 11 stuttered off of turn number 4 a little bit. Into turn number 3. Grove on the outside. Bubba Smith on the inside. Bubba Smith again sideways off of turn number 4. He's going to have to lead by a nose. Here comes Pringle in the 7 to the inside of the 31 of Grove. Bubba Smith. Kyle Grove, Gabe Pringle, your front 3. Larry Smith up the racetrack trying to get around the 1 of Gary Hoopengarner. Colton Ritchie sideways in front of him. Colton Ritchie going to slide back now. Larry Smith going to move up to the 5th spot. He's going to go to the outside of the 1 of Gary Hoopengarner. Larry Smith on the move in the 44. Caution on the speedway. The 13 of Feaster spins in turn number 4. Gary Hoopengarner, then the 44 of Larry Smith. Your front 6. Getting ready to come back to green. 5 laps to go. Green flag is in the air. Into turn number 1. Grove on the outside. Bubba Smith on the inside. Into turn number 3. Grove and Smith. A little bit of contact. Bubba Smith trying to maintain that race lead, and he does. Kyle Grove back to 2nd. Gabe Pringle 3rd in a battle with the 21 of Ritchie. 3 laps to go. The 11 of Bubba Smith with 2 to go now. Kyle Grove all over the back of the 11. Gabe Pringle 3rd now as Colton Ritchie slides back. Here comes Larry Smith up to 4th. The 11 will take the white flag. Bubba Smith. Last lap for Grove to get around into turn number 1. Colton Ritchie sliding back in the outside lane. Larry Smith up to 4th. Gary Hoopengarner to 5th. Off turn number 4. Bubba Smith hangs on. Kyle Grove finishes 2nd. Gabe Pringle 3rd. Larry Smith 4th. And Gary Hoopengarner. It's Bubba Smith in the State Farm Insurance, the Pizza Shop, GMC, Heating and Cooling, Country Mart, the Music Man, Jim Kelly in the Glass House, sponsored number 11, and hopefully you just didn't blow the thing up. Your winner, Bubba Smith! Get here, man. You trying to blow TJ's stuff up or what?
I don't know, I'm pretty excited. It's fun to jump out of the late model every once in a while and get to have a little fun. Thanks to TJ for letting me have the opportunity. Mike was a little busy this weekend. He was going to jump in himself, but he asked me to drive it last week, so kept the streak going. It's 5 in a row now, I guess, since I gave one up in the late model race there.
Well, you got that was a good one. I got to ask you, first and foremost, this thing was a handful. It was like you would get it in, it would start to go loose. You almost had to park it at times, and the ass end would kick out a little bit, but I shouldn't have cussed, but I just did. But anyway, looked like the rear end would kick out a little bit, and then it would set sail, but it looked like it was a handful at times.
Yeah, this car is a big handful. I told Ritter earlier, I said, I wish you could take this thing out for about 5 laps and just to feel it. It's a lot of fun to drive, though. You can, bump and bang a little bit and don't have to worry about spinning out or anything. I was having some fun. I had fun racing with Kyle. Had fun racing with Colton there. It took all I had to hold them guys off.
And this is what, your first street stock, sports stock, Detroit Iron win in what, about 10 years?
Yeah, I raced pure stocks in 03 and street stocks in 04. That was a pretty good year, so it was fun to jump back in one of these again, and I was happy I could park it.
Who you want to thank on this thing tonight?
I got to thank TJ for letting me wheel it. He did all the work. All I did was drive it. Thanks to Mike for letting me jump in it. Thanks to Pringle for pulling a 7-pill and putting me on the pole, because I don't think I could have done it without that. So it was a good night.
Congratulations, man. Good win.
Thank you.
Your winner in the number 11. Yeah, not the 12. It's the 11. Bubba Smith. Good job, TJ.
Thank you. I do know how to pick the drivers, right?
You do know how to pick the drivers, but you want to thank your sponsors real quick?
Yeah, I'm going to thank Country Mart, GMC Heating and Cooling, my cousin from State Farm, the Pizza Shop, my dad, and Ron Courtney. That guy can set up a race car, and Ron's the one that makes this thing help go. And
congratulations, man. Nice to see you back in Victory Lane.
Thank you.
Your winning car owner, TJ Barker. Getting ready to come to green off of turn number 4. Chief starter Terry Coletti. And we're green. Toby Cook and Larry Ennis Jr. Ennis with a good run on the high side, but he's going to slide way up the racetrack. Toby Cook has the race lead as the 17 of Jeremy Ross trying to make some ground from the back of the pack gets loose in turn number 1 and 2. Off turn number 4, lap number 1 going to go to Toby Cook in the 41. Justin Reniker up into the 3rd spot. Marcus Cox to 2nd. Here comes Alan Clark. Clark up to 4th. Van Fossen up to 5th is the 20 of Larry Ennis Jr. dropping on the front straightaway. Here comes the 61 of Van Fossen to the outside of Alan Clark. Ooh, and now the 175 of Reniker all the way up into the 169 of Cox, and now he gets into the 0 of Clark. In, getting ready to go back green. Green flag is in the air. Toby Cook, your race leader. Marcus Cox in 2nd. Alan Clark 3rd. Justin Van Fossen 4th. The 169 of Marcus Cox getting split by a couple guys and now spins in turn number 4. So Toby Cook, your race leader. All kinds of action up front. Alan Clark looking to the outside. The 41 of Toby Cook continues to lead. Alan Clark on the outside. The 61 of Van Fossen right there. Those front three are your leaders, and here comes Van Fossen and Clark. 3 wide down the back straightaway. Into turn number 3. Van Fossen is there. He gets by Cook, your new race leader, Justin Van Fossen. See James getting ready to come back to green. Right at the halfway point, green flag is in the air. Tyler 9 trying to get by Renneker, holding him down. Justin Renneker to third as he pinched the 55 of Tyler 9 down. And the 0 of Clark pounding the 61 of Van Fossen. Jesse James making a nice run in the high lane. She gets around Tyler 9 for the 4th spot. Jesse James up to 4th. Renneker all over that number 0 of Alan Clark. Is Justin Van Fossen continuing to lead by about a half a car length. 5 laps to go, 10 in, 5 to go in week number 13. Van Fossen continues to lead by almost a full car length as he parks it going into the corners, but gets a great run off the corners. The 0 of Alan Clark now under fire is the 175 of Renneker right there. Justin Renneker to the inside of the 0 of Clark for second. Renneker going to take over that second spot at the line. McDonald up to 4th. Now McDonald to the inside of Clark for 3rd as the white flag flies for Van Fossen. Off turn number 4, Renneker going to take another shot to the outside of Van Fossen. Not going to make it stick. Justin Van Fossen. Justin Renneker, Mike McDonald, Alan Clark, and Tyler 9, your top 5 to round out week number 15. Took me a while to get down here.
Well, he didn't take a victory lap, that's why.
Oh, that's why. Well, what are you doing? You're supposed to take a victory lap.
Tired.
You're tired? Come on, man. That was a good run.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
The 3 wide move was the difference, right?
Yep.
You pushed up, you went to the bottom and said, phew.
Worked out good.
Yeah, it did. Who you want to thank on the 61 tonight?
Owens Heating and Cooling. I'd like to thank Lenny Orr. He helps me out a lot. So that's about it.
Congratulations, man. Nice to see you. What, 3rd time now this year?
Yep, 3rd time.
All right, we'll make it 4 next week.
I hope.
Your winner, Justin Van Fossen.
Thank you. Ohio investigative photography. Showing the top. Showing the top. Here. I thought Terry was going to hold him on that one, but he didn't let it go. fourth, Zach Koger in fifth. green. 8 laps to go. Focus. Green flag. Kyle Grove with a good run on the outside. On the inside. Clark. The 55 of Tyler 9, the 8. Get ready to go down the straight. Right down. Tyler 9. Third is the 55 of Tyler 9 now. One of them walk. Alan, Clark, and Tyler 9, your top 5 to round out week number 15.